Hello guys, welcome back at you, logical as always, and yes, we're on Predecessor. I'm covering the patch notes. Look, I know, I've been away. It is what it is. Other games come out, I take a break and I come back. Look, it is what it is because sometimes Predecessor can really do your head in. So again, in that scenario, I took a break, I'm back, version V1.6. But it's not just that, there is the fact that I've also been working on other bigger projects, like the Chimera project that I had put out recently. As it says, this here kind of throws a wrench in the system, but it's kind of how to work through it, if that makes sense. Now again, I'm not 100% sure on how this actually works, but as it says, I'll get more into it later on. So obviously you've got the new hero, which looks phenomenal. I did watch the live stream. Looks very, very nice. She looks very strong. Something tells me she's going to be quite dangerous going forward, so she is. But again, I will leave that till later on, till I develop an opinion, because again, I have a lot on my plate at the minute. So obviously we've got the new season battle pass. I'm sorry, but the Chimera skin is fucking sweet. These guys know exactly what they're doing whenever it comes to their skins. The Bloodlord Chimera and the Ashbound Zor skins are absolutely perfect. Every Ash skin's pretty damn good too, but these two skins are the creme de la creme of this patch. That's all I have to say, so it is. So I might actually have to grind out, buy the season pass and grind these out, because these skins are absolutely clutch. So that's all I have to say about that. Right, on that there, bundles, you get the new Labs and Nitro, which is all good. You've got map adjustments that allows people to jump over, stuff like that there. You get the racked party sizes changed. You get the refer a friend, the controller upgrades, all good. This is the big one. See this right here? This is what I want to look at, because this changes up the dynamics so much that it is ridiculous. So it is. So they've added a new way to do it using augments. Augments are selectable in draft once you've picked the hero you want to play with. Once an augment is selected and confirmed, the effect will be active immediately from the start of the match until the very end. Right? So this is a massive increase, right? If your account is below level 10, you will not be able to select augments. Instead, you will be automatically assigned recommended augments as you level up and learn the game. Fine. Once your account reaches level 10, it's fully unlocked augment system, allowing all of its augments to be chosen. Okay. Additionally, augment selection is remembered on a per role or per hero basis. This means that upon selecting your augments and completing a match, it will select the same hero in the same role in a new match. The augments you previously selected for that hero role will be remembered and equipped again automatically unless you decide to change them. Again, it's on a per basis, it's on a per match basis. So it is. So simple as, you've got minor augments, which is pool 1. Heal for 4% of the damage dealt to heroes. Absolutely insane. Your ultimate ability deals 6% more damage. There's a Countess build. There's something for Countess straight off rip. Your heals and shields are 5% stronger, which is good. When damaging a hero, restore 3 plus 2% of missing health over 5 seconds. This ties in really well with Chimera. And then you've got Technocrat. Basic attacks reduce enemy ability cooldowns by 0.15 seconds on hit. Again, another Chimera one. As is, right? I'm looking at this as a whole, but these first pool ones are exceptionally powerful. Like these ones here, if you pick this up on a carry, that means that your in lane is going to be a lot more dangerous, because they're going to be able to heal. Ganking is not going to be as capable as in the past. But then with like the Regenerator, you have like Chimera and shit like that there. But then you also have basic attacks reduce cooldown abilities. That there goes in the likes of your Fang Maos, your Borses. There's so much to look at. Pool 2, you have Farmer, deals 7% more damage to minions and monsters. Again, Jungler's Dream. Alchemist, dealing ability damage to heroes, restores mana. Again, there's your mid lane. Perfect. So it is. While out of combat, gain 5% movement speed. And now jungler or support. Steadfast, while immobilized, gain 12% tenacity or 5% damage reduction for 2 seconds. That's immediately off rip going to be your offlaners. And then you got Executor, deal 6% more damage to heroes when they're below 40% health. Again, that's your assassins. A lot of these things really do add up, so they do. Sorry, taking a drink there. So right, that's pool 1 and pool 2, right? These here, these 2 pools by themselves is already a game changer. All off rip, automatically already a game changer. So it is. Now, every hero has augments, so we're gonna go through these and sort of give my passive opinion on them. You have Argos up first, which is Arcane Engine. Related, there's no ability related to this, so this is just something. Dealing ability damage to heroes grants you 2% movement speed for 0.5 seconds. Stacks infinitely, which means that Argos is going to be able to immediately run you down. Basically, if he starts hitting you with his particle shredder, he gets more attack speed. You try to run away from him, and he's just going to sonic you down. Good luck to everybody fighting in Argos. That's all I have to say. Mana Catalyst, restore mana equal to 10% of the damage dealt to heroes. Reduced to 2% for non-heroes. Mana restored from Argos' basic attacks is doubled the original amount. Means that Argos isn't going to have any issues in lane anymore. Argos normally has a very, he is mana hungry, so Azure Core is normally built on him. With him being as mana hungry, having Mana Catalyst is just going to be really strong on him. Then you've got Synaptic Shock, which is related to his ultimate. Basically, it has 50% more range and 50% slow. Yeah, he's just going to start cross-mapping the map. He is like Murdoch Jr. is the best way I can describe Argos now. He is Murdoch Jr. What makes him even more dangerous than Murdoch, though, is the fact that he gets 3 shots, not 1. Aurora is up next on this. We have, which is our primary, her glacial charge now travels 25% farther. Now, I do find it's always a funny case whenever you do actually catch up with an Aurora just by running after her. So this will make it very difficult to actually chase her down now, so it will. Frozen Fury, which is her passive. Froststorm now grants Aurora attack speed while it is active, and then of course it increases per level, so it does. So she now immediately has more attack speed. This means that her jungle is now going to be 10 times more dangerous because she's going to be able to farm so much faster. So it is. So she is going to be an attack speed god. So she is. And then you get Deep Freeze. The initial area is 20% larger. So she will be able to catch anybody who tries to run away from her. Good fucking luck, guys. Next rip is Boris. Now, personally, I haven't actually been Boris. I've been Boris once. Didn't go too well. Haven't actually put the effort in to actually be Boris yet, but that is because he's on the list to be, so he is. And I know that Boris is possibly one of the strongest junglers as well, because he gives Chimera a solid run for his money. Now, his passive, while Boris's Tesseract Core is active, he gains 50% increased armor. This means that he is going to be substantially tankier. This will help him in his offlane role, but it'll also help him in his jungle whenever he gets into scraps. That additional 15% armor is going armors, so that there's both magical and physical armor. So that means that he is going to be a lot beefier than you expect. You've got Savage Shred, which is related to his primary ability. Detonation Protocol Mark shreds 35% of the physical armor when consumed. So basically, he's just going to near cut half your armor off on you. So and then you got Apex Hunter, which is his alternative. Chrono Swipe deals 60% more damage to heroes below 25% health. Basically, it's your finish. This is basically designed to be your kill shot, so it is. That's the best way I can describe it. Oh, on to Countess. Let's see how she's getting affected. Shadow Strike, primary. Basic attacks against heroes reduce Shadow Slip's cooldown by 8%. Does anybody understand how annoying a good Countess already is? This is a problem. Anyway, Sanguine Slash. Alternate Blade Siphon deals 15% more damage to the targets that are isolated. Basically, this means that you're donezied. Long story short. Because I think the heal is directly more... The heal is based on your damage. So giving Blade Siphon, 50% more damage, is just going to heal her even more. So it is so just a bit dangerous. Then you got Bloodwell, passive. Take down someone in a pool of blood with 18 charges at the enemy's location at 120 seconds. While standing in the pool, Countess consumes a charge to restore 2% of mana, or 2% of maximum health and 2.5% of mana every 0.25 seconds. So this is just a passive regen. So basically she can kill someone, and if it was a close fight, she can just stand in the pool and regenerate all of her health and mana, which is basically it saves her having to go back to the fountain, which is a problem. Right, then we've got Crunch. So it is, which is his passive combo Crunch. Dealing damage with Cross Crunch gains 5% attack speed for 3 seconds, stacking up to 6 times. How do you expect us to land Cross Crunch 6 times in a team fight? Oh no, Cross Crunch, that's his... Oh, you will be able to land that 6 times in a fight. I'll not deny that. Interesting. Then you got Launch Crunch, which is his alternative. Forward Crunch travels 20% further. Basically, you're not going to chase him down. And you got Falcon Punch. Empowered the right Crunch charges Crunch 4 times higher when used in midair. However, its cooldown is 50% longer. So basically, how the hell are you meant to use it in midair? On a knockup? Interesting. We've got Dacker. We've got Momentum Boost. Rocket Boots also grants yourself and nearby allies 30% decaying movement speed over 3 seconds. So, yeah, Dacker just became broken. There's 30% decaying movement speed over 3 seconds. Yeah, good luck days. You got Proton Efficiency, which is our primer. Photon Disruptor. Cooldown is decreased by 50% when it damages a hero. Immediately, she's got more wave clear. Icon Surge. No. Is it Icon? No, it's not. Ionic Surge. Sorry. Ultimate Ion Strike stuns radius is increased by 30%. Upon stunning an enemy unit, it shreds their armor by 20%. Oh Jesus, yeah, she is going to be dangerous, so she is. Drongo, one of the most underrated carries in my opinion. You have Smog Therapy, which is his primary. While standing in the gas grenade, Drongo and his allies heroes restore health over its lifetime, increases with hero level. That's nutty, because that gives Drongo a form of sustain. Bring the Boom, which is his secondary. Rod Rounds deals 30% of its damage to nearby enemies upon exploding. So that gives his Rod Rounds an AoE. Then you got Shred Spree, which is his ultimate. Shrapnel Cannon's cooldown is reduced by 85%, but it deals 60% less damage. So you can just start going around blasting people. That's a bit nutty, because it means that he can just pop it off whenever he likes, and his cannon is already pretty damn strong. We've got Fang Mao. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that word. Just a passive. Killing enemy units restores 2% missing health, increased to 35 for her Earth Shadow action. That's pretty good. Imperial Duelist applies to his basic attack. Fang Mao's basic attacks debuffs targets for 3 seconds. Against debuffs targets, Fang Mao deals 5% more damage and takes 5% less damage. Are you mental? And then you get this here immediately is busted, by the way. Seismic Slash, which is Earthshaker, now knocks up enemies and stuns them for a short duration. Okay, this shit here is broken. 5% more damage and take 5% less damage? Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't know. Fang Mao is going to be a monster in the future, so he is. On to Gadget. We have Blast Zone. Sticky Mine's blast radius is increased by 25%. That's pretty nuts. Auto-lock Arm, Seek and Destroy. Homing speed is increased by 25%. Okay. And then you got Ion Barrier. Security Gates grants yourselves and allies, heroes, magical power. 50. Oh, grants you a shield on first pass through, and it scales with 50 plus 35% of your magical power. Gadget can get up to nutty amounts of magical power, so that's actually pretty good. Gadget might be dangerous in the future. Gideon, the quintessential mid laner. Event Horizon is his primary. Cosmic Rift deals additional damage, 5% damage to enemies in the center, so as long as you hit them dead on with it, then it's going to give him a massive boost of damage. Abyssal Mantle, which is his ultimate. Upon activating Black Hole, gain a shield. again, like, used to have an item to do this, but now he just passively gets it. It's going to make him annoying to deal with. And then you get infinite impact. Void Breach now has infinite range. Basically, there's just going to be cross-mapping going on. Either that, or he's going to be used as a support or a carry with that, because it means that he can just constantly just keep yeeting that ability so he can. Greystone! We have Close Cut, which is a primary. I believe that's his Make Way. Make Way deals 15% increased damage to the nearest enemy unit. Okay. Imperial Soul, which is his ultimate. Stoneforge Soul deals 12% more damage, and its radius is 20% larger. Again, it's like a global nuke, if that makes sense. Well, not global. It's just a really big bloody nuke. Because if he pops that in the middle of a team fight, the enemy team's taking damage. End of story. And then you get Tainted Oath. This is broken, because Tainted Blade is normally one of the strongest items that you can pick up. Just any tainted item in general is normally exceptionally powerful. So the fact that he now just has passive Tainted on his kit is a nightmare. Wrong pipe. Because Sacred Oath is already one of his biggest damage dealers as well. Grim! Let me see. System Restore, alternative blocking ability with a energy shield, restores missing health and grants 25. Oh, so that gives him a little bit of safety, so it does. Okay. It's passive. Triggering Pulse Fire reduces the current basic attack cooldowns by 15%. Okay. And instant reload with his ultimate, killing an enemy with allows it to be recast at no cost for 8 seconds. So now Grim.exe has now been given the Fang Mao treatment, so he has. That's the best way I can describe that. Grooks, Warlord's Might. In fact, Warlord's challenge duration is increased by just on hit, reduced to thing for non-heroes. Yeah, so the Warlord's Might is his ultimate, which basically gives him a massive attack speed buff and just a massive buff in general. So that could be nasty. Lust for Blood heals afflicted with max blood stacks. So that he's basically gotten his old passive back. So he has, and then you got Chieftain Blink. Grooks' Blink is now 30% shorter, which is okay. Howitzer! What are we looking at? Blast Off, secondary ability. Landmines blast targets 30% further. Okay. Combat Thrusters, which is his ultimate. More movement speed. Okay. And then you got Sniper Shells, which is Howitzer's basic attack, grants him more attack speed. Ooh, lovely. Aegean Scorch. Turret Monarch. Oh, lovely. Increase the number of turrets from 3 to 4. Oh, that's not good. Badlands Belch, which is his ultimate. Belch deals additional damage and knocks back enemies 30% further. Okay, hold this. Alternate Molotov. Permanently gains +3 explosion damage against heroes each time it explosion hits one. What? That might be very broken. Kalari! Execution Mandate, none. Takedowns reduce current basic abilities cooldowns by 50%. Okay. Deadly Finesse, damaging heroes with Crippling Dagger reduces the cooldown and refunds mana. Okay. Critical Override, Kalari's abilities and critically strike. Kalari's abilities can critically strike, but her critical damage is decreased by 35%. So that's about a 10% increase. Okay. Now we're on to Chimera. Feral Ambush. Increased range. This is a bad idea. This is terrible. This is absolutely fucking terrible. Chimera's Ambush is already his creme de la creme. You've just made it better. This one, however, is going to cause issues. Jungle Invasion. Chimera gains 5 + 1 per level physical power while in the jungle. Increases to 10 + 2 while in the enemy's jungle. Fighting a Chimera in the jungle is now a death sentence. End of story. And then you got minion regeneration. He can now stack his regeneration off minions. Basically meaning now that he can actually go and do the likes of off-lane shenanigans and stuff, but he still doesn't have an escape, so just be careful on that. Kiara! Bringer of Mercy. Mercy costs 10 less mana and reduces Kara's current ability cooldown by 1 upon dealing damage. Okay, Dark Embrace, which is our primary. Dusk deals additional damage to enemies afflicted with maximum vengeance stacks. Ouch, she's going to be annoying. And Purge. Purge heals for 50% of the damage dealt to heroes. Basically meaning that Kiara's ultimate now has some form of defensive application to it. Not scary at all. Kwang's up next. Slayer of the Heavens. Passive. Strike of the Heavens deals 20% more damage and reduces the cooldowns by 30% more. So now he is the amp style player now, so he's just going to be popping abilities, smack, pop ability, smack, pop ability, smack. Yep. Fun. This is probably even more broken. Aura of the Heavens. Kwang emits an aura, granting himself 3% Omnivamp. Nearby allies, heroes gain 5% Omnivamp. Oh, that's just dangerous. And then you got Heavenly Tactician Ultimate. Fury of the Heavens cooldown is reduced by 20%. And additionally, Kwang no longer retrieves his Heavenly Blade upon recalling. Okay, that's not too bad. I think they demonstrated that in the stream. Lieutenant Bellica. You get Devastating Bombs. Alternative Void Bombs deal 50% more damage to isolated targets. Nasty. Combat Veteran. Passive. Additionally, gain experience each second. Oh, so she can level up a lot faster, and that will allow her to gain a lot of that. Oh, that's dangerous. Lieutenant Bellica. Seriously, why are you doing this? Lieutenant Bellica's basic attacks also deal 10% of magical damage on hit. So basically, she's been given a passive prophecy. Are you nuts? Oh boy. Oh boy. Morigishki. Spirit Shred. Basic attack. Morgash's basic attack stretch 4% of the magical armor for 4 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Why? Ultimate. Takedowns decrease the curse cooldown by 20 seconds. Okay. Primary. Hive deals 10% more damage and has 10% increased range. This is busted because her entire point is dagger, mark, dagger, mark, dagger, mark. Oh god, this is going to be fun. More Nightmare Extractor. Passive. Casting ability reduces the cooldown of Extract by 20%. That's pretty good. You guys, ultimate Eclipse applies contagion to all heroes on activation. Oh god. And then you get the Dreadful Root alternative. If a duct hits terrain, pulls more towards it. I've seen some funny shit about this. So I have. Or I've heard some funny shit more accurately. Murdoch! Sting Operation. Primary. Murdoch gains 2 additional max static trap charges. Okay. Justice Reach, which is passive. Shots fired now pierce through enemy units and has additional... That's nuts. And then you get Martial Law. Long Arm of the Law deals 12% more damage and grants 50 gold on hero kill. Okay, so Long Arm of the Law just got a massive buff. It just means that there's just going to be a lot more damage output going out from him, as long as he can land his snipes, but most Murdochs can. Muriel! Alternative. Alacrity reduces the current cooldown of targets. It shields. Okay. Astral Assistant. Ultimate. Reverse of Fortune cleanses the ally it was used on and grants them CC immunity. Okay. Essence Nullifier. Her primary Serenity's damage also drains target's mana, dealing it as true damage. So Muriel just got a massive damage increase if that's chosen. Okay. Norbash. Berserker Beat. A primary. March also grants Norbash and his allies increased attack speed. Oh god. Rhythmic Recharge, none. Norbash restores mana when taking damage equal to 10% of the damage received, which means that he just has unlimited stamina. And don't know what this one is, but it's Tear. Each hit of Crash Boom shreds armor for 3 seconds up to a maximum of 25%. Basically, massive teamfight ult. Even better teamfight ult if you can get that far with him. Fizz, Psychic Support, passive. Catalyst restores utilizing mana by 10% over duration. Okay. Final Flash. Oh, really? The Dragon Ball reference. Secondary Energy Lance is 30% shorter and deals more damage. Okay. Kindred Surge, or ultimate Hyperflux gains a 10% movement speed and max health regeneration for its duration. Okay. Rampage. We've already seen one of these, which is hilarious. Related, the Rumbling, secondary Rumbling no longer has a cooldown, but it costs 10% more mana, slows Rampage by 60% while active, and deals reduced damage Okay. Okay. Rock and all boulder throw can now be ripped out while mid-air. It also deals 0 to 80% more damage based on the distance thrown. That's pretty nutty because I could show you a clip of a cross map I scored years ago with Rampage. I might actually go grab that clip, so I might. Give me 2 seconds, guys. So yeah, I'll find the clip, so I did. So here it is here. So hit play, and this is the clip that I was talking about. So it was. Yeah. Absolutely. Mwah. So yes, that is good. Then you got his tiny Titan ability. Behemoth now shrinks Rampage instead. With it now also removing his combat penalty when using basic attacks and granting him 70% total attack for the duration. What? Okay, however, he receives 35% more damage in Behemoth. Okay. And then the enlargements. Hang on. Size enlargement effects such as Guy's Ring also makes Rampage even smaller. That's interesting. You have Revenant up next, which is his quick draw. Revenant reloads 30% quicker. Nice. Spectral Bounty. Ultimate Revenant temporarily steals 6% of the target's physical and magical power while in the Netherrealm. If Revenant kills a target while they are in the Netherrealm, he gains 50% of the stolen stats permanently. Right, so basically he gets juiced up. So he does if he continues to nail kills. Then you got Hellfire Blast. Hellfire rounds, 4th shot deals 8% more damage and ignores 40% of the target's bonus armor. That's nasty. Richter. Alternate Riplash has 10% more range. Successful hits on heroes reduces its cooldown by 30. Well then, any Richter mains, we're in trouble. Then you have Current Overload, which is a second electrocute, grants 8% more movement speed and deals 30% more damage to monsters. Good for clear. And then you got the Watton Warden. You have Richter regenerates health equal to damage received over 5 seconds, increases. Oh, Richter's going to be a tanky boy. So he is. Sereth's up next. Passive upon picking up falling grace message restores health. Good. Wrath Unleashed. Sereth gains 20% critical strike shots when Heresy is active. That's nasty. And then that looks like a typo. That's because it is a typo, that's why. So I don't know what this is actually called. Ascend now stuns enemies for 0.4 seconds when it deals damage. Okay, pretty good. Sevarog. Unholy Pursuit. Alternate Phantom Dash grants 2 souls when it damages an enemy hero. Additionally, its cooldown is also reset when Colossal Blow damages an enemy hero. That's good. Grim Harvest Primary Siphon now executes enemies that have fallen below 5% maximum health. Okay. Grave Breaker. Colossal Blow knocks back is 25% stronger. Each time Sevarog reaches a new soul tier, the knockback strength is increased by another 25%. So you can just yeet people across the map. Shimby! Showstopper. Alternative Rushing Beat now applies 2 stacks of track on heroes upon damaging them. Nasty. Bite per minute, which is their passive. Ability hits reduce biting melody cooldown by 1 second more. Natural Talent, which is none. Shimmy permanently gains 0.5 ability haste upon killing a camp leader. Oh, that's nasty because it just means that she can just keep stacking it and stacking it and stacking it. Meaning that she's just going to have unlimited ability haste. Ooh, that's nasty. Skylar! Plasma Barrage. Plasma Grenade reduces its own cooldown by 3.5 seconds when it's attached to an enemy hero. Okay. Suppressive Fire is their secondary. While Air Assault is active, Skylar's basic attack range is increased by 12%. This was needed. I'm not going to lie, because being Skylar was a bit of a nuisance, but this was needed because you always find yourself slightly out of range. Then you have our Ultimate Atomizer now fires 3 blasts in succession, each dealing 42% of the original damage. That's not bad. Sparrow! Endless Hunt. None. Takedowns reset Sparrow's basic ability cooldowns. Okay. Veiled Stalker, I've seen this one, makes her turn invisible, so it does. Heightened Sense, Sparrow enters stealth, becoming invisible to enemies and gains 35% movement speed for 0.5 seconds. Or 1.5 seconds, sorry. Inner Fury, Ultimate Inner Fire now releases a fan of 5 arrows instead of 3. Additionally, it has 8% increased range and fires 2 additional volleys. Nasty. Steel! Bulldozer, primary, when using Bull Rush, become unstoppable and gain 50% damage reduction. Good. Colossal Crash. Slam is now 35% larger, 10% bigger range, and now has knockback enemy. Okay, pretty good. And then Adaptive Force. Force Shield now has 2 charges, but is 70% less wide, so it keeps it close. So it does. Okay, Terra! Iron Resolve. Terra is possibly one of the weakest characters in the game at the minute, so let's see how this goes. Iron Resolve, our alternate Wild Rush, now grants damage reduction while it is channeling. Okay. Axe Retrieval. Highland Hurl can be picked up from the ground, reducing its cooldown. Okay. And Herseer's Will, her ultimate. While Unstoppable is active, Terra gains a stack of Herseer every 0.5 or 0.7 seconds. Faye, this is going to be an interesting one. Natural Infusion, secondary damaging. Hero with Harvest Knells grants 8% ability haste. Stacks infinitely. Okay, fun. Wild Growth, primary. Bramble Patch now has 40% more range, which is nasty. Radiant Embrace, which is our alternative. Untamed Growth now heals the Fae and our allies for 30% plus magical power over its duration. The healing occurs again on explosion. Ooh, interesting. Twin Blast, Grenadier. Vortex Grenade has 1 additional max charge. Rocket Dash also restores 1 charge on use. Okay. Amplified Burst. Primary Vaporize has more range. That's nasty. Hotshot, Ultimate. Ventilate now pushes back nearby enemies. Its force increasing the closer they get to you based on distance. Okay. Wraith, Mystic Markman. Knock Knock now deals magical damage instead. That's nasty because you can stack it magical damage a lot more than you can actually stack a lot more magical damage than you can anything else. So dangerous. Illusionist, Secretary, surprise, surprise, now grants its effects to nearby allied heroes in a range, but the cooldown's higher. Okay. Sniper Bounty, killing blows from Knock Knock grant 5 additional gold, increases to 30 for heroes. Okay, so basically Wraith is going to be busted as fuck. Wukong from up on high, or from up high, is secondary. High impacts, no longer capped. Now deals 60 to 100 while slamming from a distance even higher. Holy shit. Masterful Mimicry is his ult. Wukong's max clone limit is increased by 1 and now generates a stack of hair every 4 seconds. Okay. And Path is his ultimate again, while in Body Stance kills grant 4 gold, while Spirit Stance kills restores 2 health. So it gives him a little bit of ebb and flow is the way I could describe that. Yin, Energy Transfer alternate. Deflecting a project grants 20% decaying movement speed over so long. Okay, that's good but bad at the same time, and also grants her a shield, but that's a little bit dicey, so it is. Serpent's Blessing, Lash Kick cooldown reduced by 50% when Yin vaults off of terrain. That's pretty good. Storm of Salvation, which is our secondary. Windburn lasts for 2 seconds longer and grants Yin 1% missing health. While it's active, the healing is 20% as effective against non-heroes. Okay. Yuri, again, I don't know enough about her just yet, but we'll get to it. Hallowed Strikes gains more range and bounces 2 more times. Okay, Soulweaver. Soulstorm grants 20%. Power 5% unique hero hit. Damage reduction. Okay. And then Surge. Destroying Thorn Spirits grants decaying movement speed. Okay. Zorus. The Ascended. Gains 10 max health and 1 for every minute. Are you nuts? That's 30 extra power and 300 extra health. That's the equivalent of nearly a full item. Plus his ultimate, which is nasty. Okay. Spear's cooldown is 40% longer when thrown. Instead of 100% longer. Okay. Flow State secondary. Evade cooldown is 50% lower and its cooldown resets on takedown. Okay. Zinx is the final one of this. Heal Matrix. Infuse now has 2 charges, but heals 10% less. Okay. Terminal treatment infuses on hit damage, increases by 0 to 60 based on the target's missing health. Oh, that's nasty. So she's going to be a carry as well at this rate. Disc of Demise. Ricochet bounces 25% further for each hit, reduces its current cooldown by 5%, increases to 10% per heroes. That's nasty. There is a lot of things in this. Those augments are nasty. Gold drip has been reduced. Timers have been increased. Gold has been increased. So all the minions have been increased in gold. Spawn times are a little bit longer. Mini Prime got decreases. Orb Prime got damage reductions. Blue buff. Again, it's just also a standard balancing around it all. Now we're on to the hero balancing. There's a quality of life. Greystone gets general nerfs across the board. In saying that, that is justified because he was exceptionally powerful. Grim gets a buff in his GTFO, which is good because he is going to be using it for cleanup at this stage. Quang gets a nerf on all of it, which is good because Strike of the Heavens is now, with the augment, is now exceptionally powerful. Morn gets a nerf as well. He is very strong, so he is. Sereth gets a nerf as well in terms of health and armor. Phase attack range increased, so she gets a little bit of a buff. Boulder Toss. Camera no longer locks while Rampage picks up his boulder. Good. Skylar. Magical power scaling decreased. That makes sense to me. That's her hypercharge. Sparrow, her ultimate, center arrows, physical damage. So overall nerfs, okay. Highland Hurl now pierces heroes 2, no longer has a fixed range. Instead, Highland Hurl now acts like as a lob projectile with gravity applying to the axe after a short time. Okay. Wraith decreases about time he got nerfed, especially with his new augments. He's going to be exceptionally broken. Wukong decreases across the board. Cooldown charges. What was it? Cooldown changed. Okay. Secondary damage decreased and scaling decreased. Okay. Bug fix. Okay. But our bad medicine damage has increased. Magical scaling has increased. Erupt damage has been increased and scaling has been increased. So bad medicine's a buff. Items. Dread. Physical power increased. Okay. Infernum. Physical power increased. Ability haste decreased. Kind of beneficial, like, because Infernum you're looking to just really basic attack your enemies most of the time. Augmentation. Augmentation's very strong, so it is. So a 30% loses 5% is not bad. Costs have been decreased yet again for all support items, which is not bad. That's just a general overall buff. Yeah, so that's everything, guys. I'm not gonna lie, that's a bit of a nutty patch. There's a lot to go through on that, especially with those augments and stuff. It's a bit nutty on it, guys. I'm not gonna lie. So it'll be interesting to see. I'll not lie. It will be interesting to see what happens. So guys, in the fundamental saying of it all, I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe if you didn't enjoy. They are my opinions, whether you like them or not. It is what it is. It's going to be an interesting patch, and going forward, I see it being very, very. I'd say that they're going to watch this patch and watch these augments like a hawk, because this is going to add a lot of depth to the game. In saying that, though, what I will do is before I actually do go, what I will do is I will jump over to Chimera, because the reason why I'm going to jump over to Chimera is because how it affects the video that I brought up of it. Now, again, all three of these are incredibly powerful. If you're really going to focus on the ganking potential, your feral, like your ambush ability, is probably going to be your best bet if you're going to be focusing majorly on your ganking. But if you're really looking to piss off the enemy jungler and get in on him, that would probably be your better option. So, honestly, the augments for Chimera are fine. They are both exceptionally powerful. Like the minion regeneration isn't needed as much unless you're going to be in the lane an awful lot. But the two big ones is Jungle Invasion and Feral Ambush. As says, depending on how you play and how you move forward with things, they're going to be your best options. So they are. So there's just me tidying up and adding to that. So it is. So yeah, guys, I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe if you didn't enjoy. And remember, guys, not everything goes to plan. Bye!